Actually wiring these things is a bit of a piece of cake. If he was a pony, he would be a Shetland. Do you want some hay? Goodness. Clint Eastwood digging his way through with a spoon. You're not naughty, you're good. Never mind. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Artisan Electrics. I'm super conscious now that I've been told I speak like Sid the Sloth, apparently. And now that's all I can think about when I say, hey guys. But we're back and we've got a really interesting episode because we're working in a castle. Mega clickbait, I'm sorry, mega clickbait. It's not a castle, but it's got a really cool round like tower style entrance which we're working in. And basically we've got a board change and a car charger install, but I'm letting Reuben do all of the car charger install basically. I'm going to completely leave that up to him and I'm just going to focus on the board change because there's loads of circuits. I think 16 or 18 circuits going in. And it's an absolute mess. Like the board that's there currently has been really poorly installed. As always, if you enjoy the video, always appreciate thumbs up and a subscribe. Anyway, crack on with the video. All we're missing is a blonde babe at the top to let her hair down so we can climb up it. Nice strong hair, some head and shoulders or something. Right, so our cameraman has gone and got his vaccine this morning. So sorry if there's some shaky filming, even more than usual. Basically, because he's had to go and get his vaccine, we've already started the job because we can't hang around forever for these divas. But you've come at a good time because, let's face it, you've seen all the ways there is to skin a cat. And when it comes to car charging, pretty basic, pretty easy. There's not really that much to it. You run in a radial and pop it into a box. Obviously, I'm dumbing it down a lot, the theory side of it. However, this gland here, so this cable ideally wants a 20mm CW gland on it. Trouble is, the Hypervolts, I'm going to speak to Flav, the CEO at Hypervolt, because he's a bit of a legend. And generally, every recommendation we've made, they've done. But problem is, the gland just kind of slips through it. It doesn't really fit very well, because it's a 25mm hole that it comes with. However, you can make a washer out of this. I'm going to be using the piranha nut. I'm going to make these into washers. So what you do, you just neatly cut round the banjo, because I'm not using this for the earth anyways. And then you have a nice washer. Put that on that side, put it through, put that on that side, and then boom. Once I've got my piranha nut on there, that will tighten up nicely and it's not going to fall through the crack because you've got a nice copper or brass washer on it. So there's your little hack of the day, and there's many more to come because today's episode we're going to try and be super educational. I'm just saying super to trigger the commenters who hate it when Jordan says super for some reason. Okay, Reuben, so you're going to be cleaning this cable back. So if you start there where we've terminated it and work back towards the board, you can push any slack into the board. We're not going to be using the linear clips on this one. So try and fix to the mortar line if you can.
Yeah.
I'd put the first clip probably about there.
Okay.
And use your 5.5 drill bit. And obviously when you're marking it up, if you get the marking for that hole there,
Yeah.
you can then put your level on that line there, get them all in. I reckon probably every third mortar line. And then when you get round to here, have the screw facing. I know usually we put the screw on the bottom, but just to hold it tighter into the wall, if you put the screw just on the top like that, it would just look a bit neater and hold it a bit tighter to that gap. And when you get to here, what we'll probably do is come round along straight up there and in. Watch out for these cables here. And what we'll do afterwards, we're going to cleat these up front because these are killing my OCD slightly. Right, so you guys, I'll show you inside what we have to do. Come join me. Don't be intimidated. So this is the cable we've bought in here, and this is the consumer unit. The way it's running at the minute, all the cables are coming in through the back, so they've taken out 2.5 bricks out of the back, and all of the cables are just coming through the cavity into this board here. But as you can see, it's messy. I've already done a periodic inspection here, and I recommended a board change, I think, because none of these circuits are RCD protected, and you've got like outside sockets, and also they want a lot of extra circuits added. As you see already, we're getting the car charger added today. Yeah, there's no, there's only the one spare way there. It's quite a bit sizable board change. The way I want to do it to make it look really neat is I'm going to fit some trunking along there to cover that cavity, because I don't want to have the back of the cable entry going straight out into a cavity. So the reason I've brought this cable out here is because it's weird, you know, that air freshener that they've got there, I used to have in my first car, in my first van actually. That smell when I've walked in. Oh look who's in the room, in the window.
Have you got that pen?
Oh, I got that pen. Do you know in the Tweenies, was it Tweenies, where they had the horse that would poke its head through the stable door?
Don't ask me.
Do you want some hay? Yeah, cameraman, pass some pen over to
Thank you.
the pony. My little Shetland Reuben. If he was a pony, he would be a Shetland, wouldn't he? So the air freshener, I literally walked in here and it was like, woo, instant flashback to my first van. It's so weird. And all the memories that that van contained, good and bad. Having my tools rubbed time and time again. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a piece of trunking from there to there, some 75 by 75 trunking, because that 75 by 75 trunking fits the hay you consume units perfectly. And then I'm going to mount the board just beneath it. So that will go just down beneath it there. And then if we have to extend anything, if we have to change anything or whatever, we can do it all inside the trunking and just bring it down neatly. What we'll do, we'll go get the jackery set up, get their Wi-Fi and things plugged into that, because there's absolutely no phone signal here. And then I'll get all the power whipped off.
Is there a hammer and drill spare?
I'm really trying to let Reuben get on with jobs more, because that was the way I was trained. I was just basically given a job to do, and I do little bits myself as well, like jobs around the house and stuff, just like sticking floodlights up for your nan and that kind of thing. And I found that was a really good way to learn, because you haven't got anyone to always lean on and ask questions. Like, I'm here if he needs help, I won't let him make big mistakes, but sometimes just doing simple tasks, it's better that they figure things out themselves. And I'm new to this, I've never had to train an apprentice from scratch before. I've only ever had a couple of apprentices before, and they were all 3rd, 4th year apprentices and all pretty well trained up. So I see it as quite a big responsibility, because how good he is reflects on me. So I want him to be really, really good. And I've been like looking up ways of teaching methods and things, and different ways of doing things, and advice for having apprentices and stuff. If you've got any advice, if you've had apprentices and things over the years, I know a lot of our viewers have run companies and had bigger companies and stuff. I'd definitely be interested in hearing what ways you found worked. Hey, you're okay, aren't you? You're not naughty, you're good. Yes. No apprentice, you can come and help us. You can come and help us if you want, yeah? Come on, that's a lovely coat he's got. Oh, sorry. Hey. Never mind. Oh my goodness. I was expecting a couple of bricks to be out. There was only 2 fixings in it. What's the guy, what's his face, who escaped Alcatraz? Clint Eastwood. It looks like Clint Eastwood is midway about to break out, digging his way through with a spoon. Okay. Well, do you know what? I'm trying to be more positive. I'm learning from Reuben, the most positive guy ever. It's really good of them to have used grommet strip. Well done. So in England, with the 18th edition now, actually no, it's 17th edition, Amendment 3, I believe, we have to fire seal any knockouts that we do. Some people choose not to. Personally, I choose to. So I've done quite a big hole in the top, but there is loads of cables to come in. So I've opened that out, and what I've got is it's black putty, and you can push that putty in around all the cables, and it completely seals it all, and it's fire retardant as well. What I'm going to do with the tails, so that all the cables are coming down from the top nicely, I'm going to bring them up into the side of this, bottom entry into the side of this, come along and drop straight down. That way we're not wrestling with it. That just feels so solid. It's so heavy. Like, I don't know if it's solid aluminum or something, but it's really nice. And it's got the bit on there for attaching it onto conduit. It's got magnets both sides, and just the fact it lights up when you're in a dark cupboard, even with a torch. It's kind of sometimes quite hard to make out the level. With that, boom, you see the bubble. I like it. I like. Next step, let's get the tails in. Can we get the tails out the back of the van, please? The old board had all these bonding conductors in them, so I don't really want to fill up all of our terminals with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit a main earthing terminal, have the board go out to that up here, and then I've just dropped these out of the top of the trunking. They'll all connect into that main earthing terminal there, and then we'll just have one main earth go down inside the trunking, out through there, and back into the main head. So, got all the functional neutrals in, got all the tails in, as people know. Like to get that stuff out the way first. Now, we're going to start cabling. That's kind of the easy part, really. Actually wiring these things is a bit of a piece of cake. It's just all the prep work that goes into it beforehand that takes up all the time. Hager, if you're watching this, please give us slightly longer functional neutral leads. I'm happy to short them down and ferrule them. It's so hard to make them look neat when you're stuck with a set length. I've got to make them all work with this shortest one here, which literally just makes it into the bar when I do them that way. Give us slightly longer ones. Yours sincerely, Biggie Mac. Nathan got us some chicken. It actually looks very good. It's pretty healthy, really. Just grilled chicken and some lovely salad. We're gonna have some lunch and we'll be back in a bit. Alright, with this, I've got the ergo strip somewhere, and I've got a data cable, like cable stripping tool that I bought for like 99p off Amazon or something. But I find for this one, I just use the big part of my croppers, just tension it right, give it a little wiggle, and just pop it off, and that's fine. Like, because I'll show you, there's another sheath inside it, so even if it nicks that, it's not going to nick any of the copper. It's shielded, so technically you have to earth one side of it. But I'll tell you what, your side, just do that, just strip it back to that, cut all the shielding off, and get a bit of like amalgamating tape or something around that, just to make it look nice.
Sounds good.
Happy you got croppers, yeah?
Yeah. Cool.
We'll just practice on that, because you've not got much slack to play with over there, so
Cheers.
Practice on it. How many 16s we got left? We've got 1, 2. So the way I tend to do it is I get all my functional neutrals in, I make a plan. I owe the company a shout out because I can be such a pain in the expletive sometimes because I forget things. I'm like rushing around because I'm just my head is so busy, but it's because I always like to plan things way in advance. I was thinking about how I was going to do this board change, I think like 2 months ago, because I'm always booked a couple of months in advance, and I'll be texting Jordan about jobs like, oh, how am I going to get there, how this, why that, what materials have we got, and I'm so worried on like how I'm going to do things, and I'm planning jobs that I forget the things like to do my certificate sometimes and things. So this is a shout out to our company. Thank you very much for being patient with me, because I know I'm a nightmare. But I had this job planned in my mind beforehand, so I knew I was going to do the bar of trunking, I knew I was going to come in and down. And it's a habit that's carried over from bigger jobs where you do have to plan. To be honest, on a lot of jobs like this, you can get away with not really needing too much planning. But remember the 5 Ps. Proper planning prevents poor performance. Because I've already made a plan, I already know where everything's going, I'll get all my functional neutrals in, I'll get all my breakers lined up, assign where they are. Sometimes you've probably seen, I'll even stick my stickers in there so I know exactly what circuits I'm putting to which place. When you've got an RCBO board, it doesn't really matter which ring is going on where. When you have a split load board, it's quite important to label up beforehand because you want to put the upstairs lights with the downstairs ring, etc. On an RCBO board, it really doesn't matter what order you're putting things in. So I've just basically got all my rings and then all my radials, all those bits, and I just slowly work through them. I find when I do it that way, when I get all of the really tricky jobs out the way, like getting the tails in, and I say tricky, trickiest part of a board change really, getting it mounted and all the rest of it. Actually making off the circuits, it's nice, it's easy, you can just work your way through it, and then leave things like fire foaming until the very end. Wait till it's completely tested, definitely no fault, it's definitely okay, because you don't want to start having to pull things out and pull circuits through and stuff if you've got putty and fire foam and everything. So you've got obviously your IT and your IN. You want your cable to basically be able to take more current than your fuse. Obviously you want your fuse or your MCB, that you want that to be the weakest part of your circuit where that's going to break. However, in certain circumstances, especially in the commercial environment, if you've got a fuse downstream guaranteeing that you're not going to be able to experience overcurrent on this cable, which you have here, that'll be a 3 amp fuse in there, that cable is never going to draw more than 3 amps. It's never going to be able to unless it's damaged, in which case you might get short circuit current, but then again you've got an RCBO. So in theory you could actually connect that. Think like you might have a 100 amp MCCB or whatever, and then you've got the current monitors coming off of that, and they're these flimsy little cables for the RCD coils and things. Even they're always these flimsy tiny little cables that are going off to it, but because they're fused down on their own right, they're guaranteed not to draw any load more than what the cable can actually take. I don't think I'm going to do it in this situation, because in a domestic situation, if you saw it, you would probably just think it was rough and that the electrician had installed the wrong breaker and didn't want to install the right one. So I'm not going to, because that's exactly what it is. But yeah, you actually could in theory get away with it because of that fuse spur. How are you getting on? Oh, nice. Nice one.
Oh, and I changed, which one was it? That one.
Yeah, it looks really good. Brilliant job, mate.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and the data cable.
So, yeah, I'll connect that. Fantastic job.
Oh, how the turntables.
Slowly training Reuben on all the paperwork stuff as well. It takes a huge amount of time as an electrician nowadays, doing certificates and all the rest of it, and you've got to link it up, like all their details. There's a lot of it that he can do really without even having to know any electrical terminology, things like the date, address, customer name, number, email, all that sort of thing. Because we use Tradeify, I'll get him to log on to there, because he's got to log in for Tradeify as well. He can get all of the details off of there and be copying it over, and then when we're doing the test results I can just shout out my readings. So slowly training him on that, getting him slightly more confident and competent on that. So what I've got Reuben doing here is second fixing it, and honestly I'm really proud of him. He's done a really good job. It's so neat. That's better than a lot of work that I've seen from like qualified electricians, you know, and that's just like 2 or 3 months in, he's going to be very good. But I've just made this up for him, this little lead, just to earth the armouring, and I'm going to get him to do that. I've just yanked that out because I'm going to get him to do it, so he's done it all. But he's done all of this, and I can't knock him. He's done a really lovely job. It's nice and neat and straight. The way he's bent that round, it's not the easiest cable to work with really, this EV Ultra, but he's bent it round, got it in, really, really good. What do you think? Do you think he could have done it better? Do you think I've done a terrible job training him? Do you think he should just quit now and go and do like an easier trade like plumbing or gas? Or do you think he should stick at electrics? Let us know in the comments below.
This dustpan sucks. First of all, it's cracked. What's it called? Dust pan. Okay, dust is just going to fall through there. There's always a gap under the middle bit. I'll show you. So it goes underneath. It's trash. But I'm never sad. I'm always happy, content. Get a new dustpan.
I don't get how all these people are working at home and productivity is not completely gone down through the toilet. Because I feel like if I was just working from home all the time, I'd just end up watching Downton Abbey or something, or Clarkson's Farm, and I probably would get absolutely nothing done. But I'd learn loads about mid-century Britain. So I guess that is something. I guess that's productive in its own right. In hindsight, I take that back completely. I take back that train of thought and conversation. Downton Abbey for the win. How's my board gone? Cameraman just asked, how's my board gone? Well, you tell me, how does the board look to you? I will tell you how I think it's gone once I've got that lid on there.
The table scraped my arm. Cut open.
Let me see how bad it is.
Oh no, it's like nothing, but it's like
first aid.
It's just,
and by first
just
aid,
annoying.
I mean I'll laugh at your face.
It's like that little cut on your hand earlier.
Right,
just
that
annoying,
wasn't
isn't
funny.
it?
That was really serious.
That was hilarious.
No, that's
it.
There.
Oh, look at that. He was crying about that.
No, my life flashed before my eyes on that, alright? There's no need to make jokes. You always take it too far, don't you, Reuben? Always take it too far. What you want, Reuben, is to get on the homeopathy bandwagon. See, I'm on the homeopathy wagon. I broke my leg, I rubbed some lavender oil on it, sniffed a bit of tea tree, ran the London Marathon the very next day. Honestly, it works wonders. I'll put you onto my homeopath. Oh, mate, can you at least sing me a song or something? No on toilet. No on toilet. Is that all tidy out there? Tables away. Mortar sealed up that joint.
Give me a second.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to fit an isolator, but there's not really any space to put it. Nowhere sensible to put it. So I'm actually going to mount it sideways, which feels really wrong, but I can't actually think of a reg or a reason why I can't do it. So I'm going to do it and live life on edge. We're going to come out of the meter into that main switch, and then when that comes on, it's energized, that will then come through into this main switch, which will then liven up the consumer unit, which will be nice and tidy. Please. It's not a good start. Oh, that's the car charger, I'll leave that one off. Just one. We can handle that. That's okay. I think that's the garage or something. Tomorrow's problem. Happy days. CT, I'll connect on tomorrow. We'll get tidy, get out of here, get a cover on this thing, get some pictures for the gram because we're a slave to it. So, I'm going to conclude the video in here tonight because my leg is absolutely in pieces from sitting in this angle for so many hours and my back is in shreds. So I'm going to get out of here, yelp in pain and stretch. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've learned something from it. I hope it's been positive. And if you've got any questions, as always, just whack them in the comments and Reuben will be sure to answer them for you. Thank you very much and see you on the next one.